yes, I'm supposed to give a motion to start the meeting, correct?
Correct.
I'm waiting for the finger.
Yep. Just a minute.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 MIGCA Spring Annual Membership Meeting. These are very unique times, but let's go ahead and start our meeting. Could I get a motion to begin our annual 2020 meeting, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. My name is Paul Tenick and I am the president of the MIGCA. I'm from Forest Hills Central. And as I started the Zoom here tonight, these are unprecedented, unique times. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would be holding our annual membership meeting from the confines of my basement under basically a governor or a government order. But times are what times are. And we as an association have spent quite a bit of time this spring looking at all of our options relating to boys golf this spring, which was eventually canceled. How are we going to recognize young men that need to be recognized as far as academic all-state, but also looking at what's the fall going to look like and how are things going to change moving forward. We appreciate all the members who have reached out to the board members asking some of these questions. We've been in constant contact with Cody English at the MHSAA to also see what he is thinking. You should have received a short video clip about what Cody's planning on seeing in the fall and just that stark reality where we are going to plan for our fall as though we normally would, with the reality that that might not happen exactly as planned. So we appreciate the membership feedback that we've been given, the questions that you've sent to us, your concerns, and we appreciate your flexibility. As I said, as we start this meeting here tonight, we've got a fairly full agenda. It would have been a lot more fun to have this meeting at the Loop in our annual spring clinic, but we'll make the best of it and hopefully you'll enjoy and participate in what's going to take place today. So once again, my name is Paul Tenick and I'm the president of MIGCA. I preside over our meetings. I'm involved in basically the day-to-day operation of the MIGCA. This will be the last year of my term as president before I move to past president. Our new president elect who will become president here in August is Debbie Williams-Hoke. So Debbie, why don't you go ahead and take over from here?
Thank you, Paul. And just want to take this moment to thank you, Paul, for all your help and guidance as president. And I'm very honored to be president-elect moving into that president position in August. What a great group of board members that we have on our board. And it's so exciting, and the passion that you have for golf, and all of our members and coaches should just be very excited with the direction that we're heading. As past president, the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to help with the all-state selections and be part of that, and just anywhere else that needed help. And that's one neat thing about our board. Even though we all have our specific jobs that we're entrusted to, we help each other tremendously, so we get a lot done. So I'm just, again, super excited, super honored to head into that president's position in August. And like Paul said, thanks to everybody, and we welcome your questions and your suggestions, and just look forward to moving in August and getting back to playing. And thank you to everyone. And at this time, I'd love to pass it on to our past president, who I learned a lot from, and a lot of us have as well, but Tony Evans.
Well, thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Paul. Basically, what I need to talk to you guys about tonight is the boys' academic all-state. So although the boys' spring season was canceled, the MIGCA will select and honor individual seniors for academic all-state for this 2020 school year. So we realized that with the closure of schools due to COVID-19 and schools closing for the summer, that gathering transcripts and getting all that information is going to be very difficult at this time. So the submission and selection process will begin next fall, and the boys will be honored at the girls' banquet next fall. That that banquet date will be given out here just shortly. But that process will be just like it is or has been in the past, where you will submit your nominations through the webpage. That selection process will go on next fall, and those individual boys, academic all-state, will be honored on stage at the banquet next year. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our special events chair, Deb Culver.
Thank you, Tony. As you said, I do the special events. I do the banquets and the clinics and those kinds of things. I've been on the board for 10 years, and I'm looking forward to, in August, taking a new position as president-elect. I'll be talking to you later about Hall of Fame and our upcoming All-State banquet. So let me give it over to Dan.
Thank you. And thanks to the whole board in this whole process. I think we've come a long ways, and what we're doing right now is just great. I'm very proud to be a part of the board. As far as the rankings and ratings, obviously it's on hold. I think Rochester Adams, where I coach, is probably the best team in the state right now for boys. But anyways, on a side note, not to make a big joke about it, but we will get back to doing a lot of things. I'm looking forward to working with some of the other coaches around the state that have been appointed. Maybe we can tighten up and get a little bit better officials and rankings of teams. But we have a lot of things that we can be proud of. And I look forward to the fall as we can get back to normalcy in some way, in some shape. Thank you. I don't know who I'm supposed to head to.
Oh, it'd be me.
All right, sorry, Hugh. Your turn.
My name's Hugh Felt. I'm golf coach at Milford High School. I'm your delegate for the Michigan High School Coaches Association, where we meet quarterly to discuss issues in coaching across all sports. And I also help out with our all-state banquet and chair kind of the academics. So I'm passing it on to Mark Posey.
Mute. There we go. I'm Mark Posey, trying to run the screens here tonight and forget to unmute. I am your MIGCA secretary. I coach at Big Rapids. For the last couple of months, we've been working on our website a little bit and dealing with the ransomware attack that we had, trying to get everything put back together. And that's about it, working on communications with our members. And who's it off to?
Nathan, you next. Nathan, you on?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
You can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna pull over here. Multitasking. Okay, Nathan Oak, treasurer and membership coordinator. Coming to you remotely like everybody else. So I handle, membership registration concerns and group school discount programs. Try to keep the budget in line and the organization solvent, and that's what I work through. Is that all we're sharing at this moment, or should I run through anything else?
Nope, that's good. Thank you. And then
right.
We'll pass it over to Leon, our executive director.
I'm the golf coach at Brother Rice in Marion. I'm going to be, as the executive director, I'm going to be right out and come right out and tell you, I am truly blessed. When I was down in out in North Dakota a year ago, they all talked about associations, and I talked about our association. I'm going to tell you, we'll start with Tony. Tony, for the last 6 years as president-elect, past president, I've learned so much. We are going to miss you. Hope that you can stay and put that other ear. I'm going to be reaching out to you, and other board members will reach out to, hey, what do you think? You are very valuable for the last 6 years. We couldn't have done it without you. So Tony, you've been awesome. Been like a mentor, even as a coach and someone I can confide in. You've been awesome. Thank you, Tony, for all your work. When I was over there, I talked about my president, Paul. Paul, great job as president. You did a great president-elect president. It just raced up there with Tony and the other presidents we've had. You guys have been two of the better ones. Debbie, I'm looking forward to you being the president. And taking the same footsteps and learning from you. Hugh, great job with the academics, handling everything. It's okay to be on there. I think I got the best ratings in North Dakota. I talked about the ratings, about how we do the rankings and everything, and they were all interesting about that. Deb Culver, I raved about you in North Dakota about how you set up the banquet. I even threw that Dallas Cowboy stuff in there, and they, oh, how'd you get hurt? I go, we paid her the big bucks to come back up here. Mark, you're a genius. I don't know. You're just a genius on the computer. I'm blessed as the executive director. I think I got in Nathan Oaks. I'm remotely in the car. We have the best treasurer, you name it. We got the best, in my opinion, the best association and the best board members. So that's all I have to really say. I've just been blessed. Feel free to reach out to any of us. I'm going to turn it over to Deb Culver, who's going to talk about the Hall of Fame, possibly Hall of Fame members. Before we go further, congratulate Paul Tenike and Mark Posey and being elected to the Hall of Fame in February. Job well done. Okay, Deb.
Congratulations. I'd first just like to give you a date for the 2020 All-State Banquet. It's going to be at Eagle Eye, where it's been in the last few years, and it's going to be December 13th, which is a Sunday. Obviously, all this depends on what's happening in our country, but it is scheduled for December 13th. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. To become a Hall of Fame member, there's a process. A coach can nominate themselves if they want. A coach can be nominated by another individual. The criteria is 20 years of coaching and or 30 years of coaching seasons. So if you were a girls and boys coach for 15 years, you would have that 30 years. There is an application on our website. You just go under Hall of Fame. You look on the right-hand side tab, and it will say application. It will give you a due date. Nominations are received and looked over by the Hall of Fame members. They're voted on, and then they tell the people who are going to be the new nominations for the new year. I'll turn it over to Leon.
Thank you. 2020 election results. For the ranking, for ratings, Dan Pico will be serving as the rating. Mark Posey will be serving as secretary. Hugh Felt will be the delegate and also handling all-state, academic all-state. Debbie Williams-Hoke will move into the president role. Paul Tenike will move into the past president. Nathan Oaks will continue to be the treasurer. In the election, we had two positions that were open. In the publication, the winner goes to Chris Cronin from Northville High School. He's the boys and girls golf coach in Northville. Congratulations, Chris Cronin. In the position of president-elect, the winner goes to, you've already heard it, but we'll say it again. The winner goes to Deb Culver, who is currently the event coordinator, will become the president-elect. Congratulations, Deb, on your victory, and congratulations to Chris Cronin. Job well done. From here, I'm going to turn it over to Tony Evans. He's just the past president, just going to reiterate what he just talked about, we'd like to make sure you hear it twice. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Leon. Sorry about that. Basically, want to talk about the academic all-state. So again, although the boys' spring season was canceled this year, the MIGCA still wants to select and honor individual seniors for boys 2020 academic all-state. So we realized that with school closings because of COVID-19 and then the school closings now for the summer, for those lucky people, I still have one more week left. But transcripts and all that's going to be really hard to get. So that submission process and selection process will begin next fall. And then we will honor those senior boys from this school year at the girls' banquet next fall. Just as a reminder, academic all-state first team or academic all-state individuals only will be recognized on the podium at the banquet next year. All of that information, again, submission and everything will be online through our website, just as years past. So at this time, I'll turn it back over to Special Events Chair Deb Culver.
I'm
maybe
going
not.
to give it to
Sorry.
Deborah Hope Williams.
Deb Williams.
Thank you. one thing I forgot to mention, coach at Saline, wanted to get that in there, boys and girls golf coach at Saline. So I just wanted to talk about something new that we're doing this year as a board, and that's the conference liaison position. And this was developed just as a way to help us communicate to all of our coaches better and to just get more feedback, and also to just be able to keep tabs on things and get suggestions, and also to help with the rankings. And so what it entails is each conference in the state will have a liaison for the boys team and for the girls team. And for some of our coaches who are both boys and girls coaches, they'll do both. But that liaison will be responsible for reaching out to their coaches when we're trying to get information out. And it's just an easier way, because a lot of times all of us as coaches in our conference, you know, we have cell phone numbers, we can send out a quick text, emails, and sometimes coaches are more prone to look at a text or email from a fellow conference coach than sometimes the MIGCA email. So that's going to be just a huge step for us. So we have a lot of the conferences already assigned, but we still have conferences where we're looking for somebody to step up and help. That person will not be required to attend board meetings. They won't be voting. There'll be, you know, obviously some appreciation on our part to those people, but it's not a whole lot of time. It's just, again, helping us to communicate better. And one other thing I wanted to throw out too involves the MHSCA. I'm also very fortunate to be president-elect of that association as well. And just really want to make sure that all of our coaches know that there's different awards through the MHSCA Service Awards and Coaching Years Awards, and they do a wonderful job. And that information is on our website. So please take a look at that as well, so that we can recognize all of our coaches. And that's all I have. And I'm going to turn it over now to Nathan.
Pull over, Nathan.
Pull over, Nathan. He did.
Oh. Okay, can you hear me here?
You hear loud and clear, sir.
You guys hear me okay? All right, almost there.
There you are.
Okay. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep, you're good.
All right, just looking for a parking spot, and I will be right with you here. So,
All right, well,
okay.
Nathan's,
We got a few questions maybe we could answer. I see in our chat. I don't know. As far as the all-state individual, districts are going to have some kind of transcript, even though the grades are incomplete or or pass fail. They'll still have a cumulative GPA. We can still figure out using their cumulative GPA and their SAT or ACT scores. So I don't think we're going to be in any bind there.
yeah, I think most schools are going that route where they're doing basically a credit or a no credit. So we'll obviously be taking that into account when it comes to the academic all-state, which once again is just for senior boys. But we should be able to figure that out rather easily, I would hope. And Hugh's a master at that anyway. So I know we're in good hands with Hugh on that for sure.
The question for our viewers out there was, how will boys all-state academic work for schools that do not give out grades this semester?
Right. So as Hugh talked about and I talked about, we would still be able to get their cumulative grade point average. That will not negatively affect them if they have a credit instead of an A or an A minus in that grade category. It's just something that unfortunately we're going to have to kind of be dealing with and flexible with because many schools have gone that route this spring. Nathan, you good to go?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, the big point on the treasurer's report this year was that with the cancellation of the boys season, we didn't have a whole lot of coaches that would have normally registered choose to re-up their membership this year, understandably. So there are those that get in on August 1st, which is the first day, and all the girls coaches obviously got in. But at the end of the day, we were down about 131 coaches from last year, and I think we all attribute it pretty much to the cancellation of the boys season. So This year to date, 251 coaches. Last year and the year before, right around 380. So that equates to about $6,000 less in the coffers. So the good news is we do have a little bit of a fund balance. We try to maintain, a balance because we need to prepay for some of the events and some things that we do. We need to put some money down before we collect it in the form of, registrations or, banquet reservations or production of plaques, things of that. Some money that goes out up front. So we do have some money to continue to operate. We're in good shape with having a balance, but we are down a little bit from what we typically have in reserves at this time of year. So just important to be mindful moving forward with our spending. We've got a nice, really balanced budget. We don't profit from too many of our things, but we try to minimally break even from them. And then some of them we pay, for example, the all-state voting days, and things of that nature where we'll cater lunch or dinner, but we don't have some of those expenses this spring as well. So, so we'll be okay. End of the day, that's kind of where we are from a fiscal standpoint. From a membership standpoint, my top goal remains to try to have Smith Patterson, our webmaster, facilitate some type of way to pay for this school multi-coach discount program, which continues to be frustrating for coaches because they'll fill out a sheet with 4 or 5 or 6 names and they'll ask their payroll office or their accounts payable to cut a check, and there's invariably a lag between the time we receive it, the time it goes in the system. So I get a lot of emails saying, can you just activate my membership so I can do this or that, or see a tournament, or register a kid for an award or whatever. And so there's a lot of juggling and trust. If we could automate that system, it would make my life and probably many of yours much easier. But the fact remains that nearly everybody that pays automatically online through our website, through PayPal, it's virtually a seamless process with an instant membership activation, and it keeps your your GIN number active if you're a coach that likes your handicap with the GAM and some of those other types of things that we work through. But that's essentially where we're at. So any questions, type them in, and we can get to them. Okay.
It's Nathan.
Good. Okay.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan.
We do have some more questions that are coming in kind of as a follow-up to our boys academic. The question is, could we potentially just not count the spring semester for grades for anyone? That, I guess, is something we can be looking at. The trickiness on that is some schools work on trimesters, some schools work on true 2 semesters, some work on quarters. So I guess we really have to kind of take a better look at that actual piece. Once again, to kind of reiterate, I think nobody on our board is looking to do something that's going to negatively impact an individual in that regard. So I think that's definitely something we should kind of take a look at. Thank you for that question. And it'll be something as a board we'll kind of take into account as we start kind of really taking a look at how we're going to run that specifically. So another question that came up was regarding the girls' state finals. So I'm going to toss this over to Tony Evans here real quick to answer that particular question. Tony?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's a question that I think everybody has since we have expanded the number of teams and the number of individuals at the state finals. So go ahead, Mark.
Oh, Mark,
you're muted.
You're muted still, Mark.
The question is, has there been any discussion about the length of the girls' state finals, especially at the Division IV level, because of the increase in the number of players?
Right. And
Perfect.
Basically right now from the MHSAA, they're the ones that quite honestly are running the state finals. We've had conversations with Cody Inglis at the MHSAA, and, at this point in time, we voice our concerns. The reality of it is I think the MHSAA and Cody will tell you that, they look at what's happening at the state finals as being a positive and a plus, with more individuals being able to be involved in our state finals. So that's something that comes up usually every December when we have our president's meeting with the MHSAA. We discussed regionals. We've discussed, the idea of potentially districts again, at some point in time. And we always discuss the state finals. So that will get discussed once again in December. It was discussed last December as well. But at this point in time, the MHSAA is continuing on, to, I guess, as is with what we've been seeing. I think right now the MHSAA likes the format for the state finals. So unless they come up with a better idea, we can always make suggestions, but ultimately it is their tournament and they'll make that decision.
Yeah, I think just to add on to that a little bit, sorry, Nathan, is, I know that, some of the things that we tried to do at Division 4 last year at Bedford Valley was to take a look at the course and, try to make it as playable as possible. So the groups weren't backed up on par 5s, par 3s were more playable. So groups weren't waiting and backed up on the par 3s. So, as an individual tournament manager, and as we look at those type of things, those are, some things that we might sacrifice a little bit at the state level. I remember one year when we were up at Grand Valley, what is it, hole number 5 in the back where it goes through the chute. One year they had us way in the back, and then, they moved us way up to the front the next day to make it more playable. So, those are things I think as we continue to host at those same sites that we work on to try to keep the flow of the event going as well. And I know MHSAA and Cody are very interested and have, will listen to us on some of those pieces as well.
Nathan, your comment?
Yeah, that absolutely mirrored my thoughts, having talked to some of the host sites over the last few years about when the different divisions cycle through there. They're definitely plugged in on pace of play. And so I think even if coaches proactively made sure that they touched base in addition to the tournament managers with the host site for some of those levels that there's concern with pace of play, and just set the course up easy for those days. And pretty much everyone knows how to do that at their own facility, but sometimes they don't often think about who's coming to play at that particular event, the specifics of it. So some nudges there, I think, go a long way with course setup. That's all.
So Bob Lober asked, who will take the position of special events? And we are going to start searching. I've already asked a couple of people that I know, but we're going to start searching. Hopefully we'll have someone in place who I can help work through the November or the December All-State Banquet. If we have not found someone by then, I'm happy to take that through into this next term. So I'm going to put a spreadsheet together that we can send to people who are interested in that position. I think it's a wonderful position. I've got to know tons of coaches and players, and so that's our plan. Anybody else?
Did you handle that? You answered that question right. Okay.
So another question came up. Is there any stronger push for electronic scoring for our players on cell phones? This kind of goes back to the MHSAA a couple of years ago, bringing to us the I Wanamaker website and app. At the moment, the MHSAA is still exploring other entities or companies that have something similar to the I Wanamaker. I would expect that at the state finals this year, it was the live scoring through Birdie Fire seemed to, for whatever reason, work much better in than it did in the past. I would look for that to, be making its way down the pike, so to speak. I would envision that in the next few years, we will see more and more electronic scoring. I think we're just waiting for the MHSAA to pick that platform that they would like to jump on and support and, kind of move forward with that. But I do believe that's something that we're going to see probably in the near future, that we're going to be moving towards that electronic scorekeeping.
Any other question? Perfect.
Okay. Well, it looks as though no more questions are coming in at this point in time. I thank those of you that have joined us for this meeting. It is very unique. It's, there's definitely some glitches. This is our first time running something along those lines. And, we had some people that didn't unmute. We had some people hopefully following traffic laws as they were, joining our meeting. Once again, before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I just want to thank not only our membership, but especially our board. This spring has just been absolutely mind-boggling. And the 9 people that you see, or the 8, including myself, I'm just so blessed to be working with these 8 individuals. The time that we've put in, the thought that has gone into a lot of the things that we've been experiencing, and it's not done yet. We still have some things that we have to figure out moving forward. But the most wonderful thing about our board is that nobody ever says no. They just jump in and really kind of rally to the occasion. So thank you, all the board members. Thank you for membership that have reached out to us. Continue to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. But we've got a great association, and I'm so pleased and proud to be a member of it. So thank you all. With that, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Debbie Williams, you need to get ready to adjourn it.
Yeah.
Do we want to just follow up real quick on that last question beforehand? If I could just say, yeah, just I'm fairly confident with what's going on with the pandemic and everything as we head into girls golf season, that there is going to be a real push to keep scorecards out of hands of players and figure something out along those lines. Not so much for the live scoring aspect, but as the question asked, definitely from a health and safety standpoint. So MHSAA is definitely looking at that, and I would say it's probably going to happen. So, yep. Okay, so I get to do this now?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so motion adjourned.
Second.
Second.
First, second, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending, and have a safe, happy spring and summer. We'll see you soon on the golf course, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thanks.